Welcome to the Practical Wealth Show. So today I want to take you back in time and I want you to, what would you tell your younger self, specifically around money? I tell myself a bunch of stuff, but around money. So we're going to title the show Financial Wisdom for Your Younger Self, Essential Advice for a Stronger Future. So, we often reflect on what we would do differently if we could travel back in time and advise our younger selves. Okay. And I'm going to give you, let me see, I kind of wrote this out too, so I wouldn't miss anything. About 7 or 8 things that I would do differently, knowing what I know now. I actually got into the financial services business at 20. And there's a, and the more I talk about it, now I'm going to riff because I'm thinking of so many things I would do different. But one of the most critical aspects that you could impart on your finances, because you should think about this. This is stuff that you can talk to your kids about. Okay. And so what would you give? So one of the first things that I would give myself, even though I taught this, but I didn't feel I could save on enough because my income was iffy, was to start early, save regularly. Okay. Save, so in our principles-based approach, we teach people to save 15% or more of their gross income. Save. Now, and so what I thought was saving, what was actually investing, putting money in mutual funds and IRAs and Roth IRA, all that was saving. That's not savings. Let me define savings. Safe, liquid, accessible, guaranteed. You want cash. And what I didn't understand, because I was like Dave Ramsey on steroids, I was, evangelical about buy term investor difference. And I would have told my younger self, dude, whole life is the best thing since sliced bread. And I would have started. So every time I think about it, I'm pissed off because I didn't really discover this till I was like 40 something. And I had my insurance license since I was 20. So I would save regularly, and I would save through properly structured dividend paying whole life. Okay. The second thing I would tell myself, which I actually did this, but this is something that you can share, is to live within your means. So a lot of people will tell you live below your means. I don't think you can scrimp your way to financial freedom. So, I would tell myself to live within my means, but focus on always expanding my means, right? So don't use, which is going to be my next point, but what you want to do is, you want to, like, if you can save 15-20% of your income, I don't really care what you do the rest of it. Okay. So I would tell myself to do that, to always build capital. You have to capitalize. The third thing I would tell myself is to understand and manage debt. Actually, I would say understand and understand credit. So you have access to money, okay? Because I didn't understand that for the longest time, okay? And I didn't care. And you all do dumb stuff in college that ruins your credit. And so now that's an asset. And so you want to understand and manage debt. And then you got to understand, hopefully I would understand that there's good debt and bad debt. There's constructive debt and there's destructive debt, okay? And what you want to be able to do is like, now I know what the wealthy use debt as money, okay, which saves them money on taxes. You can, you use fake money or debt to buy a real thing, okay, a real asset. The other thing, which brings to my fourth thing, I would tell myself to invest wisely, but I would want to know, because see, I was all about the stock market. I was all about mutual funds. And then I come to realize there's asset classes. So it's not all about stocks and bonds. There's 4 asset classes: business, real estate, paper assets, and commodities, right? So I wish I'd have taught myself that earlier, and with the earlier emphasis on real estate or buying assets, right? What's an asset? Something that pays you to earn it. I wish I would teach myself the 3 rules of investing. Okay. Invest in what you know, or invest in knowing. Invest in what you can control or influence the outcome of, and don't chase returns. 5, then this goes along with savings. The importance of building emergency slash opportunity funds, right? So I always lived on commission. I was always stressed out. And so if I'd have built, I just really wasn't focused on it because again, I thought investing was saving. So I took all of my money first and I put it inside of, SEP IRAs and had it payroll deducted. And I didn't really focus on building liquidity that I had access to. I would always have to get my money, pay the tax, pay the penalty, and I wouldn't have done that. Too many of y'all are putting, starting out, you're working, and then you start out putting all your money in a 401k because you're saving for retirement, And I was taught that, and I'm gonna say the last thing I'm gonna say is we're going to talk about retirement. Okay. So you want to have an emergency fund. Stuff happens, folks. So like 90 days minimum of money of your income, cash, preferably we store those in policies, and then everything above that is your opportunity fund where you're looking to use your money and other people's money to buy or build cash flowing assets. So the emphasis on cash flow. This one I did, so I don't know if I could do more in this. I would have took better action and focused on other asset classes outside the stock market because I thought mutual funds were a great sliced bread. But the next one, the sixth one, if you're taking notes, is continuously educate yourself. Okay, the world of personal finance is dynamic, and strategies and principles don't change, but strategy changes, right? And so I would and you couldn't really have read more books than I did because I was a nerd, but I probably could have changed the topics a little bit more. I would have studied a little bit more about economics. I would have wished I'd have read economics in one lesson uh earlier, where I would, really, because I'm the type that I like to know why things work, not, where to not just take words for other people, especially when it comes to money and economics. And that book came out in 1944. So I wish I had discovered it. I wish I discovered it in college than this macroeconomic non-Keynesian nonsense I was taught in school. Okay. And I wish, which is what mainstream economics is all about. And because I thought it was complicated and I understood microeconomics because my family's in business, but I didn't understand macro. But it was really, now that I look back at it, it's really simple, but I didn't understand it. So, um, people say, well, plan for retirement, start invest early. My advice to myself would be don't plan for retirement. Retirement is not your objective. Okay. It's retirement is an agricultural term, meaning put out of use, right? And I would have myself, because I didn't have this goal, is the I did, but I didn't because I thought income was wealth. So I was focused on making money, but I wasn't focused on creating wealth. And I didn't understand the difference. And so I would focus on financial freedom. Financial freedom is a capability. Okay. And so what you want is passive income greater than your expenses. And so I think that a lot of people don't have that goal. I ask them, do you want to have you ever thought about becoming financially independent? And they don't really have a clear picture of what that is, but it's assets that throw off income. Jim Rohn calls it being able to live like you want to live from the income from your personally invested assets. And most of us are throwing money into qualified plans, hoping you have enough money to live off of that money and die before you run out of money, basically. And I don't think that's a good strategy. Okay. And I don't think hope is a good strategy, right? So I'm going to make this a short episode. So, in conclusion, what I want you to think about is you can't rewrite the past, but you can learn from it. Okay. And the financial advice that you would tell your younger self is a roadmap for building a solid financial foundation. Okay. And starting early, understanding debt, living within your means with the focus of expanding your means, building emergency capital, focus on capitalization, focus on cash flowing. I would have wished I'd have learned about cash value insurance earlier so I could focus on being the bank and having access to money, and then learning about alternative assets and really have an emphasis on cash flow. So that's what Curtis would tell his younger self. So I hope that helps somebody. Share this, uh, with a friend or a young person that you feel that could benefit from this. And hey, if you want to have a conversation about this, you can go to our website, practicalwealth.net, and you know, schedule a call. Let's talk about your money. All right. Talk to you soon.